Alright guys, I am working against time here. I have a little less than an hour. Actually, I have around 45 minutes before the sun sets. It's also very overcast, so it may appear darker earlier, and I'm kind of hoping I can just get this video made and done. But today I want to talk about how we should not allow the world to estimate our value, okay? It's something we've got to be very careful about, and we oftentimes look to the people around us, the people who matter to us in our lives, and I'm gonna go this way. I don't think I've gone this way in a long time. And we look for validation in a whole host of other people to determine if we're really important or not, if we really have value. Now you might say to yourself, well, I know I'm important, but wouldn't you feel better if the people you really cared about could understand your true worth? Well, sure you would. Sure you would. We've all wanted to be rich, famous, important, respected, renowned, and sought after, because it would mean that we have reached a pinnacle in life that would seem to determine that we've really got it going on. And we would hope that would perpetuate. And we've seen people rise and fall, and so on and so forth, and so the grind just goes on, right? But you can have a really good name. You can have a really good name. You can accomplish many things in this world, and still fall short of everyone else's respect, everyone else's esteem of you. And I don't care who you are, I don't care what you've done, I don't care how far you've come. You will not be truly valued for who you are by this world. Okay? I think that's really important to understand. And I think really the only one who can truly value you in all the right ways is God himself. All right? Because no man knows your heart. No man really knows who you are. They might think they do. And they might feel like they have you figured out. But they don't really. And if the world does estimate you very, very highly, you might want to ask yourself if you're doing something wrong. Okay? I'm not saying you can't have it both ways. I'm just saying be careful. Now, when our kids were little, we did what everybody else does. We thought long and hard about the names we gave our kids, and we wanted to be careful. We wanted to give them names that people wouldn't necessarily make fun of, right? And no matter what kind of a name you give your kids are always going to get made fun of for their name. They're always going to be mocked, somehow picked on, and no one's exempt. And we want to give them something that people won't forget. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, really, honestly. So, but we do this. We do this in hope that our child will live up to whatever name we give them. So we try to find something different. We look up the meaning and say we want our kid to embody these characteristics. Hopefully they'll grow up to be a great scientist or a teacher, lawyer, a doctor, someone who really contributes to the world. You know, I've never been back here, this part of it. Someone who is somebody that everyone else will look up to, and we wish that for ourselves. But there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees that our kid would even be interested in embodying the very things that we would hope for them, and there's no promises the world would ever see it our way. And we find this out as we get to be older, and we become very disillusioned with how we're spoken of, how we're underestimated, how we're robbed. We're robbed of the respect that we should have been given. If people only knew, what I'm capable of. And it might be glaringly obvious. doesn't mean they're really going to care as much as you do. So the overarching point here, before I get into an illustration, is that just enjoy being here and being a part of this world. Do your best, do it for you, and do it for others, but don't expect anything back from a world that doesn't even really know anything. Honestly, that's what it comes down to. So here's an example of all things. I mean, I know this is, you wouldn't expect me to be talking about this, but Nicole Scherzinger, right? I don't know if she's still one of the judges on The Masked Singer, or, I know she used to be part of the Pussycat Dolls, and when she turned 30, they no longer wanted her to be a part of that because she's too old. Now, she's a very beautiful and very talented woman, but I think that she's been someone thought of as the beautiful woman more than the really talented one. If you've ever heard her sing, she's incredible. She's a very good singer. And I recently watched a clip of her on the Phantom of the Opera. I don't know if she was in the Phantom of the Opera, but she starred in I saw her in a few clips where she was singing with the men who were the Phantom. And she's incredible. And everybody said in the comments that she was she is criminally underrated. Criminally underrated. Now that's quite a description. And I think people think that she could have been so much more. Well, maybe she could have. She certainly has the talent, right? She certainly has the looks. But sometimes the world doesn't give us what we either think they should, or we just know they can't see what's right in front of them. That happens all too often. So, one thing that got me thinking about her, though, and I'm not a huge fan of hers. I don't like her or dislike her. I'm rather ambivalent, okay? So, I'm not captivated by her or anything, but this is why I brought her up. So, some time ago, in the town of Oldham, which is a town about 7 miles northeast of Manchester, the town council there, they got together and they decided to go onto Twitter. This is how far back this is. And ask the public, what should they name their new gritter? Now, a gritter, I don't think that we use that term over here in the States, but a gritter is, not a critter, a gritter. A gritter is this machinery, this big piece of machinery that spreads sand and salt on icy roads, okay? Now, they had a habit of naming these things quirky names, like Usain Salt, David Plowie, Britney Spears, Brad Grit. Well, the public, they came up with the idea they should call it the Gritsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Anti-Slip Machine. Well, they didn't take that suggestion, but what they did settle on was Nicole Saltslinger. Yeah, after Nicole Scherzinger, right? I mean, doesn't even really go together well, but that's what they called it, Nicole Saltslinger. This is what her name was relegated to. After all the beauty and the talent she has and her accomplishments and even even getting shortchanged quite a bit by the industry. Someone who obviously probably could do, she could do a lot better if she was truly valued for what she has. I'm not saying she hasn't gotten good breaks, okay? I'm not saying that. But then she gets, her name is assigned basically to a piece of machinery. Yeah. I mean, listen, just goes to show you that it doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter how accomplished you are, the world's not always going to appreciate you. Okay? It's not always going to appreciate you for everything that you're worth. The world may totally overlook anything that you've ever invested, anything that you've ever contributed. It's going to be up to you to be able to go on and keep moving forward, right? It's going to be up to you. Because if you let it get to you, you're going to become very disillusioned, disappointed, and discouraged. And you'll become known as the one who used to do this, that, or the other, who could have been that person or the one to do this thing, because they certainly have it in them. Don't allow the world to get you down. Hey, they don't know what they're talking about. And listen, just remember, God is the final authority on who you really are, despite who wants to hear that. He really is. So keep that in mind, that you're not important just because you're here. But on the other hand, you also are, okay? Understand the difference. You're important because God created you. You're important because, he thought enough of you to create you. On the other hand, the world also needs you. It needs you, but it's never going to estimate you fairly, for better or for worse. I mean, let's be real. Sometimes the world will make you feel a lot bigger than what you are, a lot better than what you are. And they could be very, very wrong. And we've seen this in people that become very narcissistic. Have you seen those people on social media? And I'm thinking of a couple people right now. They are trying to motivate you to become more like them. They are setting themselves up as a standard because somewhere along the way, they kept talking themselves up, and somebody somewhere said, hey, you know what? You really are that guy. You really are that gal. You know what? A lot of us know they aren't. They're not all that in a bag of chips. But they became convinced of this. And so this is the danger of buying into all the platitudes and the wonderful things that the world has to say about us. Okay? It's about keeping your feet on solid ground. It's funny I'm saying that because I'm actually walking on very sandy ground right now. It's white. It's a lot of brush around here, but a lot of white sand. Because this used to be all part of the ocean over here. Probably the Gulf. Anyway, you get what I'm saying? I hope that's encouraging to you. Just stay sober. Stay sober. Sober-minded, that is. And stay encouraged. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to me. I'll catch you in the next one. In the meantime, be wise.